everyone, welcome. My name is Brianna Catalanato. I am the Social Change Chair of the DePaul Activities Board. And today, welcome to On Wednesdays We Wear Pink. As you can see, it's a little drift on Mean Girls. But yeah, so we have an amazing talk today with one of my favorite organizations that I researched while planning this event. Their name is Equal Hope. And they're going to have a great conversation today about breast cancer and the disparities that come with it. So it'll be a great chat. I'm here today with Aleli. And yeah, so just a little reminder before we start, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and we'll answer them at the end with the Q&A. Also, if you see on the little banner at the bottom, DAB, we are doing a little On Wednesdays We Wear Pink giveaway for a pink hydro flask and a pink and gray hammock. So if you want to sign up, there's a lot of signups currently. So if you want to sign up, please go on DHub. It'll be on the DAB page. Registration closes October 23rd, 6 p.m. And we will randomly choose a winner, and the winner will be contacted by the end of this week or beginning of next week. So yeah, so I'm gonna introduce Aleli from Equal Hope.
Hi everyone, my name is Aleli Alcade. I'm very excited to be here with all of you tonight and to talk about such important topics such as breast cancer, especially because it is October, which is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I know that all of you guys are so tired of being on the computer all the time, and you guys are also students, and I know you have other obligations, so I'm very happy that you decided to join us tonight. But in order to be respectful of your time, we're going to start the presentation. Hopefully we can get you out by 6:40 tonight. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please do reach out to us. And so without further ado, we're going to start the presentation. Oh, it froze. Please bear with me. There's obviously some technological issues going on right now.
So just another reminder, sign up on DHub for the On Wednesdays We Wear Pink giveaway. It's going to include a great hydro flask, I think 32 ounces, pretty big. So that'll be great. And then there's going to be a pink and gray hammock that you can use when the temperatures warm up, because it is currently getting cold and it's going to kind of be hard to use a hammock if you're in the Midwest when it is snowing. So yeah, make sure you do that. And just a little reminder, we have for DAB, we have some upcoming events coming up. If you want to see, check out on DHub of our upcoming events. We have coming up, we have a campus social. Send in your art on DHub also. Make sure to do that. Pumpkin Palooza, pumpkin themed trivia night, and then a Dia de los Muertos event. So I'm going to hand it back over to Aleli. I think the presentation is working now. So I'm going to hand it back over. Are we good?
It doesn't seem to be working. It's like frozen.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay, guys. There's always technological issues in this new era of COVID-19. That's so weird. It's not like working.
If you want to try to re-upload it, and then I can just talk a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the screen, and then I'm gonna upload it again.
But yeah, I can talk about a little bit more about Equal Hope, a great organization that I found while searching, because I thought it was important, especially for DePaul students, because this is a topic that we all are familiar with, but it's kind of hard to have this conversation because you're unsure of the right procedures to do if you do have breast cancer, and we are very reliant on social media and finding our resources from there. So I thought it was important to bring it to the DePaul community and the resources that we have for students, parents, and all of the above staff and everything. So it's very important. Let's see if the PowerPoint works now. Let's hope, fingers crossed. But yeah, so we can still talk. I mean,
Patients that it seems to be frozen, but you know what? COVID-19, especially 2020, it's all about being flexible and adapting to the situation. And I'm gonna be more than willing to share what we're gonna talk about. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about Eco Hope. So Eco Hope is a nonprofit based off in the Chicagoland area. So it's not like a full presentation, but some of the slides are working. So can you guys see it?
Yep. You are good.
Okay, it worked. Yay. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Breast Health and Disparities Awareness Workshop. So just an overview of the workshop. Today we're going to be learning about Eco Hope and the different programs that we offer. We're going to be learning about breast health and how to reduce your risk. And we're also going to learn the importance of early detection and treatment for breast cancer. And finally, we're going to learn what you can do to help yourself, your family, and friends to live a cancer-free life. So what is Eco Hope? So Eco Hope is a nonprofit. We're actually connected to Rush University. It was formed in 2007. The purpose of Eco Hope was because after conducting a breast cancer summit, different directors and hospitals and researchers realized that there was a big disparity in Chicago and that they were seeing high rates of breast cancer in certain areas, specifically in BIWOC communities. Part of that reason was because there was a lack of access to mammography. There was also a lack of quality when conducting mammograms, and there was also a lack of access to treatment that was both effective and that was of high quality. And so in 2007, a new group was called, which was called the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. And it became a nonprofit in 2008. But about a year ago, we actually changed the name to Eco Hope because the organization is not only focusing on breast cancer, now we're also focusing on pap smears and also visits to primary care doctors. Actually, today, we just launched a new initiative with Planned Parenthood to connect women from all ages to a primary care doctor, and Eco Hope is actually paying for the first visit. So the mission of Eco Hope is basically to save women's lives by eliminating different health disparities in Illinois. Traditionally, that is a socioeconomic factor, just because mammograms tend to be very expensive, and also to create access to quality mammograms, because mammograms are not always created equal, and Eco Hope works with some of the leading hospitals and clinics that provide not only access to a high quality mammogram, but also to a comprehensive care system. So we have different programs. So we have Eco Hope, which is a patient navigation education. We educate people, but we also navigate people to different resources such as mammograms and pap smears. We also have Eco Boys. We work in advocacy and policy. This year, we were actually working on expanding and increasing funding to the HPV vaccine, particularly to boys, because boys are still not vaccinated as much as girls, and it's very essential to vaccinate both genders in order to become healthy and well. And we also partake in Eco Care. Eco Care is basically focused on research and collecting data on how we can keep on improving mammogram services and pap smears to women that are high of quality. And so, as mentioned before, EcoHealth provides a wide range of programs such as breast health screenings, cervical health screenings. We're now also doing site allocation to primary care doctors and providing access to it by covering the first visit. So what is breast cancer? Particularly, what is cancer? So cancer is what happens to your body when certain parts, like cells and tissues, start to grow in a way that is uncontrollable, and it starts to damage different healthy parts. Here we have a picture of what a breast looks like. Typically, the cancer impacts the ducts and the tissue and the lymph nodes, and once it starts to spread, and if it's not detected early enough, it can spread to different parts of the body, and it could lead to death. And as mentioned, what is breast cancer? Breast cancer is malignant or cancerous tumor that develops from cells in the breast. And who gets breast cancer? The individual that gets breast cancer are women. I also want to emphasize that we also have to recognize that we need to be more inclusive and progressive. So it's WOMXN. So WOMXN. Those are people that are at risk of developing breast cancer. It's been estimated that WOMXN has a 1 in 8 likelihood of developing breast cancer. That does not mean that breast cancer does not occur in men. It does happen. Breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer that's among women. Women have a higher incidence rate, but Black women are typically more likely to die from cancer just due to the different social determinants of health that really cause obstacles in obtaining proper prevention and treatment. Here in Chicago, which is a very diverse city, there is a high rate of segregation, as we have seen. So an example is, as I mentioned, white women typically get diagnosed with breast cancer, but Black women tend to die more from breast cancer. In Chicago, it is a 40% likelihood that Black women would die from breast cancer compared to white women. And Chicago is also one of the cities that has worse disparities than other major cities. Here we're comparing two different sectors of Chicago. The light green is predominantly African American community areas, and the blue is non-African community areas. And through this diagram, we're showcasing how throughout the different communities of Chicago, the rates are higher in African American communities than in non-African community areas. And also to talk about more about disparities, there isn't clear their rate of Latinx women that get cancer, but it has been showcased that they are less likely than white women to get mammograms, and they also detect breast cancer later, as in later stages, which could be a huge negative when trying to obtain proper treatment. So why do minority women die more? As mentioned throughout this presentation, it's typically a lack of access to screenings, not getting mammograms routinely, more likely to get mammograms with poor quality, not getting diagnosed early, not getting treatment quickly, not getting the right treatment, lack of breast health education, and lack of coordinated care between providers. What are the symptoms of breast cancer? These are some of the symptoms that appear in breast cancer. A woman may only have one, a woman may have multiple, it varies, but one of them is a dimple on the breast. Another one is discharge or dripping from your nipple. It can be a clear liquid or it can be blood. It could be a lump on the breast. It could be pain in one spot of the breast that does not go away and that is constant. It could be a skin rash. Another symptom is that the nipple turns inward. You can also see a difference in sizes of your breasts. And also there could be a swelling or lump in the armpit. I do want to emphasize that early breast cancer may not have symptoms, which is important that you always are up to date on the health of your breast. What are the risk factors? As mentioned, being a woman, age. Cancer is more prevalent with women who are 40 years or older, race. Family history of breast cancer, and this is really important. So we always recommend women start getting their annual mammograms once they hit 40. But we have seen cases when women develop breast cancer because they have a family history of breast cancer. And also personal history of breast cancer. If you develop breast cancer, it's always essential to maintain those relationships with your providers and to get routine checkups, because there is a higher likelihood of you developing breast cancer if you had it in the past. Risk factors. These are factors that somebody can modify. So one of them is being overweight. It's very important to maintain a healthy diet and to exercise regularly. Drinking more than one alcoholic beverage per day, or also taking hormone replacement therapy. I want to mention something. If your family has a long history of breast cancer and you're taking anything like birth control pills, I highly recommend talking to your provider to see if there's other methods that you can utilize for birth control. It's because sometimes birth control pills could increase the likelihood of cancer. And another risk factor is that breastfeeding reduces breast cancer risk. And we're just going to cover a little bit about the males. So the symptoms are the same in men and women. And again, the risk factors are family history of breast cancer, obesity, age, heavy drinking, being exposed to radiation, and any estrogen treatment. The good news is that due to the advancement of technology and prevention, only 1 in 12 breast lumps are cancerous. Breast cancer is also highly treatable. If your breast cancer is found in mammogram before it spreads, you have almost 100% chance of being alive 5 years later, which is why you should never ignore any symptoms, specifically lumps. So how is breast cancer diagnosed? Breast cancer is often found during mammogram. There are 2 different types of mammograms. We have a mammogram, which is a traditional x-ray of your breast. But then if you're experiencing symptoms, we do provide a diagnostic, which is a more in-depth mammogram. We also do MRI or ultrasounds. It's also important to do clinical breast exams on yourself to see if you notice anything different about your breast, and which is why breast self-awareness is so essential for you to be healthy and to know your body in order to detect if there is anything wrong. A mammogram has become one of the best tools in prevention for breast cancer because it is able to detect if there's even a lump or if there is an abnormality before you even notice it with your naked eye, which is why we always try to recommend women to get mammograms if they notice anything or if they have a family history or once they hit the age of 40, just because a mammogram can definitely play a difference in detecting something and providing treatment, which can save your life. And as mentioned, in order to get a mammogram, you need to hit that age of 40. But we do understand that women who are younger do develop breast cancer, and we have actually seen quite a couple of young ladies who have come because they are worried about breast cancer and trying to get mammograms because of their family history or because they saw something. And so if you're under 4 years of age, mammograms are not as reliable because your breast is denser, but we do recommend you consulting with your primary care doctor if you are at risk. So please do know your family history and if you have had cancer before. The way mammograms work is that there are two results, which are normal. It means that everything's okay in your mammogram. And then you have a normal, which is that there's something suspicious that's causing some worry in the doctor, which is when we will recommend you to a diagnostic mammogram or to a biopsy. And if cancer is discovered, we recommend surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, hormonal therapy, and reconstruction. And so what can you do? So know your risk factors and your body, and start getting your mammograms once you hit 40. Maintain good health and establish care with primary care provider. And if you have any questions about anything, follow up with me or with your primary care doctor or where you get most of your information. And as mentioned, most of you are probably under 40, but as I mentioned before, definitely do know your family history. It is very essential. And by even knowing that now and being aware when you need to start getting your screenings, I think could be essential in maintaining good health throughout your lifetime. And so what can EcoHope do? So we can schedule your breast screening appointments for women, or if you're curious about anything, please do contact us. As mentioned before, EcoHope is now providing access to primary care providers, and we're now working with Planned Parenthood. So if you're worried about anything, definitely do contact us, and we can put you in contact with primary care doctor, and we'll cover the first visit. We also send annual reminders. We assist you in trying to get timely results. We assist you in obtaining immediate treatment. We assist you with any follow-up about breast or cervical cancer treatment. And we assist you in getting pap smears or any medical home placement. And here we have our contact info. We have our phone number, our email, and our address. I do want to apologize. I know I went rather quickly, but I think I made it.
Did not know I was on mute. Okay, sorry. So perfect. Thank you so much, Alayli. That was amazing PowerPoint, and I hope a lot of people found that informative. So if you have any questions, like I said, if you weren't in the stream earlier, feel free to comment them in the chat and we'll go over them. But earlier in the day, we asked on Dab's Instagram page, Dab_DePaul. Give it a follow if you want more information. So we asked questions earlier, and the first one is there genetic testing for breast cancer?
But genetic testing is expensive. It could cost pricey money. Is very pricey. But I think what's important is for you to talk to your family members and to see if your grandma, or your aunt, or your mom, or anybody in your family has a history of breast cancer. And I feel like you knowing that will make you aware of what you need to be looking for, and you know if you need to contact your primary care provider or anything like that.
Perfect. And then another one is, will breast cancer treatment affect one's ability to have a baby?
So I think it depends on the person, and I also want to emphasize I'm not a medical care provider, but there has been more advancements in that aspect about a woman who does develop cancer. She will have options, and it will all depend on what the primary care provider or the doctor who's managing the case says.
And then, so again, this is kind of a medical question, so I apologize, but is there like any way we could know, or are we close to a cure for breast cancer?
So I think we're still working to that, but we do have amazing prevention methods, as mentioned before. Starting to first, having a primary care doctor is really essential. Second, I feel like knowing the symptoms and knowing what they look like could also be a giant step forward. We have learned so much about breast cancer in the years, and I feel like even though we don't have a solution to it or a medicine or treatment that's going to eliminate that or prevent that, we do have different resources such as knowing your body, having a primary care provider, knowing the symptoms, education, and also having access to mammograms and diagnostics. And I know that many of you are maybe not in that age group yet, but I did mention before that we have had cases when women do develop cancer before 40. And some of them have been in their early 20s, which is why it's so important for you to know your body and to have a relationship with a doctor and to also know your family history and to be aware of the symptoms and the consequences.
All right, and then we have that was amazing. I had no idea about that, so great. So we have a question from Facebook from Wynet. So it says, how do we start the conversation for an earlier mammogram screening if we do have a family history of breast cancer?
I think that you need to advocate for yourself. I know that sometimes with medical providers, it can be a little bit intimidating, but definitely advocate for yourself, especially if you are a BIWOC, a Black, Indigenous, woman of color. Advocate for yourself and speak up if you have that worry, and keep track of anything that the medical care provider says, because I think that you as the patient know your body the best, and I feel sometimes it's very easy to dismiss worries or concerns because a doctor may know more or because certain guidelines. I know this because one of my professors actually worked on the CC guidelines and when women should start getting testing and things like that. So I know that it's very frustrating, but I think that if you're worried about anything about your body, such as breast cancer, and you have a history of that, advocate for yourself, speak up, or contact organizations like Equal Hope, where we can connect you with somebody who could even do like a clinical breast exam, which is just examining your breast. That's still a step forward.
So we have another question from our Instagram poll earlier. Also, if you can see on the little banner below, we have put Equal Hope's Instagram. So that is one of the many ways you could reach out to them, and also on their website. So just to let you guys know. Another question that we have is, what type of doctor should I see if I think I have breast cancer?
So I still don't know the answer to that, because I have worked with many women who sometimes they get diagnosed and they still don't know. But as mentioned before, I'm not a medical care provider, but I do emphasize having a relationship with primary care provider. And I think that that person can direct you to those resources if you do develop it. I apologize, my niece is in the background. But I think that once you have those relationships, it can move forward with obtaining those essential resources.
All right, perfect. So if you do have any comments or questions, feel free to comment down below and we'll answer them. But if there is not any, I would just like to say thank you so much, Lily from Equal Hope, for being here and providing so much great information for the DePaul community. We all really appreciate it. And for current DePaul students, got another question. This is a really good one. So they ask, where is Equal Hope located?
We're located on 300 South Ashland Avenue, and we're always looking for interns for the summer. I know we had a past intern this summer, and she actually worked at the for the medical home placement project and helping create relationships with like Planned Parenthood. We're also working with like La Esperanza and Christian Families Health Center, and so she was such a great asset for that. So if you're ever looking for an internship, definitely check out Eco Hope.
Perfect. I will also, on the DAB Instagram page, DAB_DePaul, I'll post more information about Equal Hope and the ways you can reach out so everyone has access. So if there's not any more questions, I'll close out and say again, thank you so much, Lily from Equal Hope for being here. Current DePaul students, please, if you want some free stuff, because I know all of you love your free stuff, go on DHub and sign up for the on Wednesdays we were pink giveaway. We are currently giving away a hydro flask, a pink hydro flask, and a gray and pink hammock, preferably not for winter, but when it gets warmer out. So sign up for that. The form closes October 23rd at 6 p.m. And yeah, okay, perfect. So that will be it for today. Again, thank you so much, Lily, for being here. Thank you for everyone watching. Down below is our DAB upcoming events for the next couple of weeks. Make sure to come and check us out. Check us on DHub. Follow us at DAB_DePaul, and also follow at EqualHope_IL on Instagram. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everyone watching. Thank you.